Everybody wants some blast of magic, 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 magic. Oh, I got the magic in me.
All right, it's time for the next episode of Magician 101, the show for all magicians. Now, this episode, you've hopefully made your website and your business cards, and you started promoting your name, and you're starting to get calls to do gigs. We're going to talk in this episode about how to deal with your clients, because you will get some pain in the butt clients, and you also will make rookie mistakes that will not get you shows. The promotion part of magic is only half of getting gigs. You have got to be personable on the phone. Now, if you've ever worked a retail job, you know you got to do good customer service when you work retail. I work in a retail store. I got to do good customer service, which I love doing customer service. I do. I love it so much. If you don't like customer service, unfortunately, you got to do it here if you want to be a good magician and get gigs. If you want to get gigs. Now, I'm going to use all of my retail experience to tell you good customer service, bad customer service. And you can use your retail sales clerk knowledge for customer service in your magic. So here we go. First, let's say you get a call from a client, and they're really nice. They're all happy. You know, it's their child's birthday party, and they want you to do their child's birthday party. They call you up and they say, "Can you do my child's seventh birthday party?" You want to be good customer service. Looks like this. You don't want to be like this. Sure, I'll do your child's party. How much am I getting paid for this? No, bad customer service. Bad customer service is also being too overly enthusiastic, like you're faking it. So you don't want to go like, "Oh, I love children. Oh, they make the world go round." That's overly enthusiastic. Looks like you're faking. Somewhere in between. You want to talk to the client on your phone. Now, this is actually a good tip that I've gotten taught in retail before. Talk to your customers / clients like they're your best friend, or they're your family member or your sibling or whatever. Talk to them like you've known them forever. So here's a good example of good customer service on the phone. Client calls up, "Can you do my child's 7th birthday party?" "I would love to do your child's 7th birthday party." You know, 7-year-olds are the perfect age to start getting interested in magic. I saw my first magic show when I was 7, and I remember it forever, and that's what got me started in loving magic. So I think your child's going to love it too. You know, I make doves appear and I make a rabbit appear. Your child's going to love it. So you're going to be really excited when you see this. And I do great work too. Good customer service example. That's a good one. You know, you want to talk to the client. You want to really talk yourself up too. But not just that. But you want to come across as you're a nice guy and you're not going to be a real jerk. Because real jerkiness is not going to get you any gigs. So that's suffice to say. So that's really the one thing you really want to do with customer service is you want to be chipper and cheery. And this also works for any event. Like if you're a comedian trying to get booked for gigs, be chipper and cheery as well. And be funny. You know. But if you're a singer and you're trying to get booked to do gigs, be chipper and cheery. Always. Think of like a Walt Disney cast member at a theme park. You know, they're always personable. You go up to them and they're always happy and have a smile on their face. That's what you want to do. Good tip. If you meet the client face to face, keep a smile on your face. Even if you're not the happiest person in the world, fake it. Now, of course, don't overly fake it, like I said, but fake it enough where if you're just not feeling happy that day, put a smile on your face anyways, because you got to be chipper and cheery with your clients. Now, let's say you get a really mean client who calls you on the phone and is just going off at you because of whatever, and it might not even be your fault. You've got to be chipper and cheery. Let's do 2 scenarios. First scenario is your client calls you up, the party's just not going right. The caterer quit, the birthday cake won't be ready in time or whatever. Whatever the scenario may be. And she's calling you up and giving you a boatload of stuff because other stuff isn't going right. She's just like, I want to make sure you're here at 3 o'clock. The cake won't be here. It's going to be here at 5 o'clock now. So I need you to be here at 3. I need you to change up your time. You need to just be like, all right, that's fine. I can do that. You know, you got to work with your client if the client is getting ready to literally pull their hair out over the phone. Now, if your client calls you up and is giving you a boatload of stuff because of something you did, you've got to be apologetic and you got to be like, I am so sorry. What can I do to fix the situation? In retail, if the client is getting upset at you because of something you did in your customer service or because something the store did, like let's say you're working in a retail store and the store doesn't have the item they're looking for and they're getting really upset, you need to fix the situation by being very apologetic, being like, I'm so sorry, would you like me, in a retail situation, would you like me to try one of our other stores for you and see if they might have it? We can ship it to this store, or if you want to go pick it up, you can go do that too. That's what you do in retail. Now, in entertainment side of it, in your magic, if a client's calling you up and let's say they say, you're not using a rabbit in your show. I want you to use a rabbit. Why aren't you using a rabbit? I want a rabbit in the show. And it's like, well, I don't work with rabbits, man. But how about I do this, this, and this? And that usually calms the client down. I had a client one time was getting all freaked out because the show was about an hour away. And they were calling for a snowstorm. They were calling, it was early in the week, and they said, and the party was on a Saturday, and they were like, there's going to be a chance of maybe a few inches of snow. And, the client emailed me, or I emailed the client and said, hey, it's a chance of snow on Saturday. First of all, is the party still going to be on if it snows? And second, if it snows a lot, I might not be able to make it. Let's watch the weather report and see. So I got an email back from the client and said, yes, we're still going to have the party, even if it snows, depending on how much snow it is. And it's like, well, and I said, well, if you can't make it, and Bob, we were trading emails back and forth. And then, it was like about Wednesday afternoon, and the client's like, are you coming? I need to know. I need to plan the party. And they were getting all upset at me because of the weather. Well, I was like, so I fixed the situation, and I did go to the party. It didn't actually snow. They changed the weather, and so I actually went, and the client was happy and all that great stuff. But so you need to make sure that if you do something wrong with your magic, you need to fix the situation by offering some other means of stuff. So that's really the major thing about your magic, is just have great customer service. If you work retail, you know what I mean. If you don't work retail, it's kind of hard to get the gist of what good customer service is. And good customer service, I would recommend this. If you have a best friend or a mom or a dad or a relative or an aunt or an uncle or a sibling, ask them, hey, I'm starting to get into magic. I'm starting to promote myself. Can you role play with me customer service so I can practice that? If you haven't worked retail or done any kind of customer service work. I just thought of something, and I think it just lost my brain. I just lost my train of thought. Oh, I know what it was. Let's say you get a call from a client, and they ask you to do a birthday party. Now, I've gotten this before, and I didn't do it, but we'll go into that. A customer called me, or emailed me, and asked me to do a child's 3rd birthday party. And now, there are some magicians I know who do birthday parties for that age group. Like, they'll do it for that young. I don't, because all my tricks, you really need to be at least like 6 years old to understand what's going on. I mean, not all of them, but like the trick on the cabinet back there, the one that is the traffic, the one with the balls inside of it next to the bottle. A 3-year-old's not going to understand what's going on with that. Same thing with like the coloring book up there, or the zombie ball behind me. People aren't really, a 3-year-old's not going to understand really what's going on with that. So you want to make sure, if you can't do a party for that age group, I had that and I told the client I couldn't do it. So you need to make sure if you can't do the party, you need to find the client some other options. Like what I did was when I couldn't do the party, I said, you know what, I can't do this kind of party. It's not in my age group, or, I don't think I can do it, but here are some other magicians in the area you might want to contact and see if they can do it for you. Always offer other options. So if you can't do the party, let's say that the day the party is on, like they say, can you do it on September 18th? Well, actually, I'm not going to be here that day. You can't just say, sorry, I can't do it. I like to give the client some other options. Like, I'm actually going to be out of town that day, but here are some other magicians in the area who might do the party for you. Contact them and let them know, let them know. And then usually the client will respond back. I know when I can't do gigs, the client will respond back and be like, hey, thanks for offering up some other magicians in the area. I'll check them out. Sorry it didn't work out. And usually they'll be understanding about it. So you really want to make sure that you offer up some suggestions. Don't just say no. And also, if a client emails you or calls you directly from your website, so like if you use one of the websites I talked about last week, like Gig Salad, it's not gonna. You don't have to really do this as much because, like with Gig Salad, I told you that they don't actually get your contact info unless you message them back. But like with Gig Salad, they'll send it to like 4 or 5 different magicians who are in that category that they're looking for, and so you won't be the only one they'll contact. But like if let's say you do a website, you post your let's say phone number on there, and they give you a call and say, hey, I'm looking for whoever, I'm looking for this magician. Can you do this party? Don't not call them back. Call them back. Another good customer service tip. If you don't contact people within about 24 hours, they're going to think you're not really in this. They're going to think you're either in this for just the money, just to get paid and not actually care about the job that you're doing, or they're going to think, this guy's very unreliable. He might not even show up the day of my party. I'm not going to use him. So try to get back within 24 to 48 hours of them calling you or emailing you. Now, of course, if something comes up where if an emergency comes up and you can't call them back right away, when you get the first available chance, as soon as possible, call them back and say, hey, I'm so sorry, but, my mom was, I had to go to the hospital. And they'll be like, oh, okay, that's fine. Well, if that's not true, don't use that, but, but they'll be like, hey, okay, that's understandable. So can you do my party? And then they'll start talking business with you. So, let's see if there's anything else I want to talk about with the customer service aspect. I don't really think so. I think that's all I wanted to talk about this week with customer service. If there's anything else with customer service aspect, I'll report on it the first part of next episode. But I can't think of anything else. So that's really the big thing. The big thing I want you to take away from this episode is make sure you got very, very good customer service. Make sure that you're chipper and cheery, as I said throughout the whole video, because that's going to get you a lot of gigs. Really honestly, your magic is about 10% of what you do with your magic. Your actual tricks are only really about 10% of you. The other, like, 90% is really your interaction with your clients and the people you're doing your magic for the kids at the birthday party or whatever. That's what the other 90% is. 10% is really only your magic. From what I found. That's my numbers. I mean, I could be totally off with those numbers, but that's really what it is. About 10% is your magic, tricks. And the rest of it is how you, I can't think of the word now. How you present yourself. There we go. How you present yourself. Okay. Now, before I go, I do want to recommend a magic trick. This is not actually, this is what I do on the Talk is Right, but not actually here on Magician 101. But I got this new trick, and it's actually one of the best. I mean, this is actually one of the best magic tricks. I love this one. It involves 2 USBs, and it's called Flash. If you haven't seen this, go check it out. I'm going to post a video of this soon, of me actually doing Flash and reviewing it. But if you haven't seen it, it's, I have the name right here. It's Chad Long. He puts this out. It's basically like the color-changing knives, except instead of the color-changing knives, it uses USBs. It's a really great trick. I'll post a video of it, but I'm recommending it because I'm going to recommend it from now on. This is a really great trick. I recommend going to pick this up. The spectator reaction on this trick is amazing, but I'm just going to recommend it now. Watch the video of Chad Long's Flash I'll put up in a little bit, probably in a day or two. So check it out. It's Chad Long's Flash, and we'll see you next time for the next episode of Magician 101.